Namaste everyone, it's Chess Puzzler. Today I'm going to start a new playlist which is based on the Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan's amazing and very popular book, Winning Chess Endings. You can learn every basic as well as advanced concept related to chess endings as if you're learning directly from the Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan because I am going to cover every important concept that is covered in this book step by step. First important chapter that he covers is about the endings when we have a king and a pawn versus a king fighting for either a draw or a win. While we know that timing is quite important in chess, but timing undergoes curious changes in king and pawn endings. In opening and middle game, every move is treasured as a way to enhance our development and protect the king and protect a weakness or initiate an attack. Therefore, every move in chess is nothing but a tempo, and the plural is tempi or tempi, which is a synonym for timing. In king and pawn endings, however, the difference of a single tempo is often the deciding factor between a draw, loss, or a win. Having an extra move in a pawn race can literally mean either victory or defeat. Now, to understand these concepts better, the Grandmaster Yasser Sairawan has structured this chapter under several topics. The first topic we are going to cover today is called direct opposition. The second is distant opposition. And the third one is having the king in the square. The one that you see on the screen right now is king in direct opposition. It's the first basic principle. And the principle is if the defender's king is directly in front of the pawn, the ending is drawn. Right? This is true for all the pawns on any of the files, either A or H or anything in between. In this diagram, we see the black king has a perfect defensive position, and therefore the game is going to be drawn. However, there are a few things that we need to learn from this particular position. Let's say we start with a move king c3. We need to be very close to this pawn because if we move away, the black can just gobble the pawn and the game is drawn. Black will play something like king b6, for example. We will play king c4, and black will play king c6. This position that we see right now is called direct opposition. That means both the kings are one file apart, and the player that has the move next is at a loss because no matter where white will move, black can just take the opposition right again and will not allow white to enter this particular rank to be in front of its pawn. Say white plays kd4 and black will play kb5. Now the game will keep continuing, but white will not be able to make progress because it cannot move ahead of the white pawn anywhere on this particular rank. Say black will play kb6. We have king c4. Again, we have king c6, and now we have b5, trying to push the pawn and also trying to push the black king away so that white can come ahead of the pawn. But it's of no use because after king b6, you'll notice that the king always steps in the path of the pawn. Right? King b4, king b7, king a5, king a7, b6, king b7, king b5, and so on. And you'll see in this position, there is very little that white can do to promote pawn to become a king, and if that's not possible, then we just won't be winning. King c6, king c8, b7, king b8, and now if you play something like king b6, it's a stalemate because black does not have any squares to go to. And if you play something like I don't know, king d7, then black simply takes, and once again it's a stalemate. Now let's look at another example to understand the concept of direct opposition a bit better. If white is to move over here, what do you think should be the right move? Should it be pawn f6 or should it be the king f6? So if you do pawn f6, you see the black king is one file apart. Or black king can just move to e8 and will have direct opposition with the white king. And white king will never be able to move ahead of the pawn. Therefore, the promotion of the white pawn is going to be impossible and it's going to be a draw. So the key move will be for the white to move his king in front of the pawn, be able to protect the promoting square. So we play king f6 and that's the best move. King e8. Now, if you wanted to draw, you can just play king e6, f8, f6, um, again e8, e6. However, what we need to do is after king f6 and king going to e8, we need to flank out. We'll go to g7 to protect all these three squares for the pawn promote, which means black will not be able to capture the white pawn in any of these three squares. So no matter what black plays after this, the pawn is just going to promote and we are going to win. However, we have a very unique challenge if the pawn is on a file or the h file. Let's see what happens in this case. Now, for the white pawn to move, we need the white king to move as well, right? So white will have to step in front of his pawn to gain a position and then secure the promotion square. This method of escorting the pawn up the board is key to winning many king and pawn endings, even though getting in front of the passer seems to be contrary to the plan of promotion. Imagine the king acting as a football blocker, clearing the path for a pawn. Say black is to move, black goes to g8, g6, h8 again, h6. Now king only has one square to go, g8. We'll play h7 and now king h8. So whatever we do now, say we play king h6, it's stalemate because black cannot go anywhere else. So it's a draw. In this case, it's white to move, and the idea is for the pawn to promote on e8, and the white king has to be in front of the pawn to deflect the black king away so that it cannot touch the pawn behind it. So the best move in this case is going to be king e4. Black will take the opposition, yes it will, and had our pawn been somewhere on e3, for example, having no legal moves, white king would have to move again, which would end up with black having the opposition. But we have a beautiful move, that's e3. The ball is in black's court. White will have the tempo once white gains the opposition. Say black goes to king f6. We'll simply go to d5, king d5, and you can see these three squares now in front of the king, adjacent to the king, are protected. So no matter where black goes, we can safely move our pawn on these three squares without black being able to attack it. In response to this move, black will play king e7, which will give us king e5, that's taking opposition. Now, if the black king goes to d7, we'll simply move to f6, king d8, king okay, king d8. After that, we can just simply move our pawn up. King goes to d8, for example, then we can just bring our pawn to e4, king e8, and now again we can just take opposition by king e6, king f8, and king d7. You'll see these three squares are now protected by the white king, and white pawn will be able to promote itself while the black king roams the entire chessboard with no fruition and checkmate in the end. These are the basics of king and pawn endings, but there's definitely more to it. If it were just this much, then everybody, including you and me, would have been a grandmaster. Let's take a more difficult example, as we see over here. What do you think should be the first move for white? Should it be to check? Should it be to play king f7 or king somewhere else on the board? The best move over here is to control the queening square, and that can happen only by king f7. As you can see, now these three squares are completely protected, so black cannot capture the pawn once it enters this particular zone. The king will go to h8 in hopes of getting stalemated at one point, but we are not going to allow that one because so the moment you push to g6, black won't be able to go anywhere. It's going to be stalemate. So what do you do in this case? You move king g6 and force black to take opposition in this case, which will be met by king h6, king h8, and now we can play g6 because black has the g8 square to go to and it's not a stalemate. King g8, g7. Black cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go here. So the only place where black can actually go is the f7 square. And that's what happens. And to keep the g8 square protected, the first move that we are going to do is not promotion, but king going to h7. And now you can figure out what happens next. All right, now I have a challenge for you. Assume that you're playing a tournament and your opponent is the Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan himself. Yep, happy to have the sunny side of draw. You desperately want to win so that you can boast of your prowess to all your friends. The first thing you notice is that your pawn is little too far advanced and is away from your king. This means that you can't step in front of the pawn to try to win a position. Worried that it will be captured, you hasten to protect it. You play king d5, king d7, king c5, king d8. Now, this last move was a really cunning one because, come on, you're playing the Grandmaster Yasser Saravan himself. It is a trap if you make the wrong move. How do you proceed? Please provide your answers, provide the solution in the comments section. With that, we move to the other concept, the second concept, which is distant opposition. We have learned what it means when kings face one another in direct opposition, but at some earlier point, the kings are at a distance from one another. To go head to head in opposition, they must first get closer. As they approach each other, however, it is important to know which king is likely to gain opposition. When kings are not in direct opposition, they are often in a state of distant opposition. Now, in this diagram, you can see that white wants to escort his pawn up the board right here on the c5, but the black king is well placed to block its progress. Right? White's only hope is to bring his king up off the first rank and win the opposition by getting in front of the pawn. So what does white do? King d2. Oh, the black is in real trouble. It seems no matter what he plays, he will lose the opposition and the game. For instance, if he plays uh, king d5, then king d3, white gets the opposition. King c5, king c3, king d5, and king b4. King c6, king c4, and no matter where black goes, white can simply outflank and create some safe squares for the pawn to move and finally get promoted. Right? And uh, even if black plays something like king c5, then we simply have the opposition right away. And now, no matter what black plays, we'll just flank the black king from the opposite side and let the pawn march in the front. So, what black does in this case, the best move for black in this case is king d6. Not coming any closer. to the pawn or the king, but staying exactly where they are. And this is called as taking distant opposition. Instead of facing off directly with one square between the kings, black keeps three squares between them, achieving a distant opposition, and the game is drawn. Believe it or not, yes, it's drawn. When white's king steps up the board, black's king will also do the same, but now black would have gained a position. Let's see that in works. King c3 and king c5. Now who has the opposition? Black does. No matter where white goes, black will simply follow and will not allow the pawn to march at all. Now suppose over here, instead of king d2, say white tries something like king b2. It's going to be the same because black is going to win a position eventually. Instead of anything like king on the d or the c file, king will simply play b6. And the moment king steps in front of the pawn, we have opposition by black and game is drawn. Learning to think about king and pawn endings using opposition and distant opposition will help you calculate which positions are won or drawn. In this particular setup, white can plunk down the move king c4. We know that white has automatically won, regardless of who is on the move. This is because the tempo c2 c3 square. So if the king was say here on c4, then no matter what black does, we have a tempo move that is going to be c2 to c3 pawn move, which will force black to move out and for white to take the opposition against the black king. With that, we move to the final concept for this video, which is king in the square. Quite often in the game, you will see that the king and the pawn are separated from one another, and the pawn races up the board, trying to promote before the defending king can stop. In this particular setup that we see on the screen, it is white to move. Black king is far away from the past b3 pawn, and white is spending his time calculating whether or not the immediate b4 move wins or not. Calculating this race is quite unnecessary because we have a quick device we can use that's called the square. And we'll just draw the square like this, right? The b3 pawn is 5 squares away from queening. We can see b3 to b8. So we draw a square starting from the b3 pawn uh, to the queening square. If it is 5 squares, then we can just draw a square of 5 squares each on each side. The principle is that if the defending king can step into the queening square, the game is drawn. As the pawn can't win the race. If the defending king is not able to step into the square, the pawn can race away unaided to score a touchdown on the b8 square. Let's see this principle in the how it works. If you played b4 in this case, now the square has shrunken. Now this is the square for the white as far as the white pawn is concerned. Now the principle is if the black king is able to jump into this square in its next move, the game is a draw because the king will just gobble up the pawn. Say, and obviously, if regardless of what king plays, whether it's f8, f7, or f6, it is going to be a draw because it is able to jump into the square. Black plays king f6, play p5, king e5, sorry, king say e5, b6, king d6, b7, c7. You make the queen, but black simply takes it. So it's definitely not a win. Now, I have another challenge for you in this case. In this particular diagram, see if you can find a method for white to win. We saw that b4 move does not work. So find out if there is any other move that white can play to win. And if you can find the answer, please post it in the comments section. And based on this particular piece, we have another puzzle for you. In this position, find out what will be the end result of a game if it's white's turn to move or if it is black's turn to move. With this, we have come to a close for the first part of king versus pawn endings. I hope you learn a lot. I'm going to cover this entire beautiful book written by the greatest of grandmasters, Yasser Seirawan. Winning Chess Endings is the name of the book. Please stay tuned, subscribe so that you do not miss the other videos in this particular series, and please like the video. Also share your comments as to what can I do differently for me to improve your chess. It's the Chess Puzzler signing out.